Hodgson was a well-educated man with an enormous curiosity. There was a lot of speculation at the time about how the world worked, how it had been created, where it came from.
The scientific speculation of the day when Lewis Carroll wrote the book definitely found its way into the book. And when Alice is falling down the rabbit hole, she muses to herself what's going on, and she says to herself, I wonder if I'm going to fall right through the center of the earth and come out the other side where people walk with their heads downwards. There was actual sort of scientific debate about things like that.
Goodness. What if I should fall right through the center?
One of the triumphs of Carroll's Alice books are their timelessness. More than 100 years after they were published, they still enchant us, even though some of the references, which were very much a reflection of their era, have been forgotten.
Lewis Carroll's life, as historical lives go, is extremely well documented. He kept diaries all his mature life, and he also kept a letter register for the last 35 years of his life, annotating letters in, letters out, that sort of thing. And that letter register ends with the number 98,721. And you can imagine how many letters he wrote in his life.
In a diary entry from 1863, Lewis Carroll wrote, "There is no variety in my life to record just now, except meetings with the Liddles, the record of which has become almost continuous. I walked with them in the meadow this morning."
Well, I'm looking for a white rabbit.
The amount of time that Lewis Carroll spent with the little children is remarkable for all kinds of reasons, because although he was a tutor at Christ Church, he wasn't in quite the same class as the Dean and his family.
Dean Little, the father, was a nephew of a baronet. Mrs. Little made a great deal of that.
Hello, I'm Paula Sigmund, and I'm a Disney historian. Alice Liddell's mother was a beautiful woman, very connected in higher social circles, and she loved the idea of Charles Dodson, who was an amateur photographer, immortalizing her family.
In point of fact, had he not written Alice in Wonderland, he would still have had a place within the history of photography as being one of the seminal influences of the way in which photography developed.
Goodness! What did I do?
He worked very hard at it and learned all the intricate, subtle ways of taking pictures.
His portraiture is immaculate. He captures the essence of characters who are posing for him.
He spent a lot of time taking pictures, and this gave him an opportunity to hang out with these really cool children that he was very fond of. They started having picnics,
What they called river picnics, going out on the river in a boat and stopping upstream at Godstow and having a tea on the shore.
Whatever will I do?
And on one of these trips, on July 4th, 1862,
Dodson and a buddy of his named Duckworth rented a rowboat and went for a picnic with 3 of the Dean's kids, including Alice, the one that he was particularly fond of. They set up on a bank of the river.
the girls asked Mr. Dodson, as they called him, "Oh, well, let's have a story, that sort of thing."
So on this famous day in 1862, when the kids asked him to tell a story, it just flowed out of him.
We know from the accounts of all of the people who were involved in this relationship that there were many stories told on many days, but on that day a story was told that was the beginning of a long-running series of stories that were based around Alice.